Are we ready? Welcome everyone to this special full council on 20th of June. Do we have any apologies for asking?
We have apologies from the council.
Item 2 on the agenda is declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest on this? None. Item 3 on the agenda is the end of the year finances 2022 and 2023, and that's to review and approve in the following order, which is A, the final internal audit report, 2023, the annual governance and accountability return, annual governance statement, and the annual governance and accountability return, accounts and statements, which are in your agenda. Councillor recommend.
Right, so I'm going to suggest that we take these three items separately, so we have a clear record of the approval of them, should we choose to pass them. So we're starting off with the final internal audit report, which is on pages 3 to 12, and I'm pleased to say it's a very, very good report, and that the various issues that were identified last year have all been addressed. I would particularly like to note at the bottom of page 5, we were, the auditor did that a year ago, suggest that we would, make very strong recommendations that we should look at our capital reserves and ensure that we weren't running them down, and that we do that by producing a balanced budget. The auditor haven't actually noticed that we have actually done the sub budget for this financial year. And congratulations to Town Clerk and the Council for helping us to do this. And so I would like to note that. And so I do therefore propose that we review and approve the final internal audit reports 2023 as on the agenda.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder for that? And all in favour? That's carried. Very right.
So item 3B, the annual government and accountability return. So this is on page 13 to 18 of your agenda, and these are the formal way in which we report our figures. And for anyone who is interested, they do relate to our management account. But a couple of years ago, the accountant went through that with me, and it's quite tricky to follow. But these numbers they do match up, I'm sure, by the officers. Therefore, I would like to propose that we approve this annual governance and accountability return, the annual governance statement.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? All those in favour? That's carried. Thank you. And finally,
well, lastly, the accounting statements. That's what's been ended 13 to 18. So I'd like to propose that those are also approved as on the agenda.
very much. And the seconder, and all those in favour? Oh. Okay, item 4 is the heating system for the pavilions, which is being discussed, and that's subject to recommendation from the Proceeding RMA committee to consider 20,000 from capital expenditure of this installation of their at the pavilion. The reports attached. Yes, Councillor Iceland.
So, those of you who've got long memory, you may have seen this item before from the previous RNA meeting, but there was a recommendation, and for clarification, the recommendation was that we proceed with supplier 3 for the earthware heat pump, which is a cost of about £11,000, And that we additionally set aside £5,000 for additional costs, not included, which may not be included in that quote, which we've been finalising for both fans and electrical supplies. So I'd like to propose that we approve this recommendation from RNA, which is as on item 6 on page 24, with the change in 6.2 to say that the contract is awarded to supplier 3 for £11,000, with £5,000 additional capital reserved for any extra amounts which is needed. So I so moved.
Thank you. And I've got a second, councillor Henry. All those in favour? Sorry, does anyone want to speak? Councillor Khan.
Just from the curiosity, I'll Stan, are there any central government grants towards heat pump bits and stuff like that for the council institutions? I know there's a stage where they're obviously doing it for residents and bits like that, but is there any central funding that trickles down for those?
They do grants for feasibility studies, however, not for the installation.
Councillor Hoskins, if you want to speak.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Several points. Item 5.7, first of all, has talked about the old upcoming changes to the law which oblige landlords to improve buildings' EPC ratings. This is actually currently in place. It started the 1st of April 2023 and requires buildings which are leased currently to be at least an E rating. I'm aware that the town clerk has approached for future for revisions to the EPC, but currently it stands at an F rating. It would not therefore be able to continue to that lease to the intention that was mentioned in item 2.2 about a new lease being negotiated with a prospective tenant. And one would hope that the new EPCs are done separately by each of the two leases, i.e. Bowling Green and the nursery, and not involve the public services, which is the park services and the toilets. What is important to recognise is if you go ahead and lease the building without having improved the EPC, you have a fine of up to £5,000 per lease. So that's one point, and that's advice to the officers in that respect. Second point, I have in front of me, and I've shared with the project officer, the AVICA, which was the Rural Community Energy Fund grant, which actually had statements of daytime usage of 34,000 kilowatt hours and 39,000 kilowatt hours during the night. What I find interesting, and I'm very happy to work with the project officer, is to identify the savings that are reported in 6.3, because the total cost, if you assume that is currently what we've been paying, about 34 pence plus a nighttime rate, is likely to be about £19,000 compared to about 8,900. I don't know the information background. I'm happy to work with the project officer in that respect. The third point is that when, and I've heard this quoted and referenced by the town clerk, when there is a discussion about solar panels, the AVICO response said that there was a 2% return on investment and a 5% return on investment. And the total cost for a 50 kilowatt hour peak solar PV was 72,500, and the total cost for a 33 kilowatt hour solar PV was 51,500. I am involved in helping buildings install solar PVs. And compared to that cost of £51,000 for 33 kilowatt hour, I have just been quoted within the last month, 2 quotes, one for a 27.5 kilowatt peak, which was 29,000, and one for a 29,000 kilowatt peak, which is 31,000. So therefore, from the perspective of the comments made earlier by Councillor about moving to solar panels, I think the Avico report was flawed, and you could say it was inaccurate. I'm happy to get a quote for the council if they wish to do so, and actually obtain a quote for panels on the pavilion. But I think we should be moving faster, particularly in the context of the EPC, moving faster towards getting solar panels on the roof. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, yeah. You want to say on that?
Yes, so on the EPCs, I believe they have already been commissioned for. I don't know if they are, if different settlements have been, but I will, for each of the different parts of the building. But I will certainly raise it with the estates manager and the town sergeants tomorrow.
If they, Madam Mayor, if they haven't been separated, then you're going to fall back to the F rating. And you will then be faced with fine.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was just, well, Tony, Councillor Hoskins, thank you for your expertise, and I'm glad you're sitting around this table now, rather than before you wrong with that as chairman of Climate Emergency Committee. But yeah, your expertise is absolutely right. I'm sure the town clerk will take on board your EPC. Yes, I know I spoke earlier in RNA, and it was just to say that I want a proper report brought back to RNA to investigate the costings for the solar panels, and any expertise you can give. Brilliant, thank you.
Okay, shall we?
I just should say that the context of expertise, which may be overstated by councillor, I have chaired a body which is invested in the solar panel buildings around Reading to a tune of about £500,000, £750,000. So there is some degree of knowledge.
That's great.
Thank you very much.
Not a lot.
Okay, we have a proposal from Councillor Riceman. Do we have a seconder? Yes, Councillor Hunt. All those in favour? That's carried. I believe. That's in, Secretary Council. Thank you.